One day, the most influential man in the world, known as Marcus Aurelius, tried to live a virtuous life. Unlike many Roman emperors, he did not indulge in the pleasures available to him, such as getting drunk on wine and watching brutal games in the Colosseum. Marcus Aurelius was committed to fulfilling the task that destiny had reserved for him, serving humanity. Therefore, he dedicated himself deeply to fulfilling his purpose, but to do so, he had to stop worrying about things that did not deserve to be valued. And there are many of them. One of the central principles of Stoicism is the distinction between things we can control and things we cannot. Epictetus's manual explains this clearly. Most things, if not all, besides our own actions, are not under our control. This means that we must relinquish control over these things. Stoics believed that we must be realistic about our limited influence over these things and that we carry an unnecessary burden if we do not. When life causes us pain, it is often because we care too much about things over which we have no control, allowing them to control us like puppets. So we blame the puppeteers for controlling our strings when in fact we allow them to do so. But if we stop caring about these things, they lose power over us and we achieve serenity. For Marcus Aurelius, not being disturbed by things beyond his control allowed him to face the many responsibilities and challenges that arose as emperor. He could focus on the task he believed was his mission, given by the gods. For Epictetus, this meant freedom for other people, not being affected by external forces. It could be a way to focus on goals that really matter. For others, it could simply be a path to a happy and carefree life. When life becomes painful, we should ask ourselves what things we should stop worrying about and how to do it. This video explores and interprets Marcus Aurelius's philosophy on caring less about things that do not deserve our attention in his meditations. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly distinguishes between past, present, and future. He has valuable words about how we care too much about them, or in the wrong way, or about the wrong things. To clarify and structure this, let's start with the future. As Seneca stated, we often suffer more in our imagination than in the reality of our lives. This implies that our thoughts about the future are the source of our suffering. When it comes to the future, our imagination tends to run wild, inventing countless scenarios that will probably never happen. In advance, we think about how to deal with possible outcomes, while trembling at the idea of not knowing how the future will be or how things will unfold in our lives. In some cases, what we imagine actually comes true, but in many others, fate surprises us with unpredictable events, for better or worse. For example, we may have spent years planning for a well-deserved retirement that never happened or received a diagnosis of a deadly cancer that gives us only a few months to live. These possibilities make us spend a lot of energy worrying about what might happen, even when these situations are not happening in the present. But in reality, we cannot deal with these situations until they happen because they exist only in our thoughts. The future disturbs us because we think about it, but it does not exist outside of our minds. For example, if we are worried about a diagnosis of a deadly cancer, why not enjoy today and cherish every second of our precious life? This is what Marcus Aurelius was referring to when he said that it is not the weight of the future that presses upon us, but how we deal with it in the present. According to Marcus Aurelius, the past should not disturb us either. What happened in the past is gone, and we cannot change it unless we invent a time machine. He reminds us that man lives only in the present, and all the rest of our life is past, or has not yet been revealed. However, we often become overly concerned with past events, reliving painful memories in our minds. Marcus Aurelius argues that we cannot control the past, and often our memories are inaccurate. Instead of getting stuck on past events themselves, we should focus on how we react to them. We can choose how we position ourselves in relation to these events and learn from them, but we cannot change what has already happened. When it comes to the present, we often become dissatisfied with how life is unfolding and react with irritation, sadness, or depression. However, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that how the world around us unfolds is not in our hands. What is under our control is how we react to the present. We often become emotionally disturbed because we do not like what is happening or because things are not going the way we want them to. Marcus Aurelius advises us not to fight against what we are forced to do. Fighting against the present is useless because we cannot avoid or predict the future, and we cannot control the world to make it meet our desires. Instead, he encourages us to accept the circumstances and focus on what is under our control, namely our choices, actions, and opinions. We should embrace the ways of nature and face the events we encounter with serenity, rather than allowing them to disturb us. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that adversity in life is not an excuse to behave like pigs. I hope this video has been enlightening and inspiring for you, just as Marcus Aurelius's philosophy can be for our lives. Remember that the power is in your hands, especially in the present. It is time to apply these teachings to your personal journey. I would love to hear your thoughts on the topic, and if you have any personal experiences related to it, share your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, do not miss the opportunity to join our community. Click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to receive updates whenever we release new videos on philosophy and self-improvement. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to leave a like, as it helps us reach more people who can benefit from these ideas. Share this video with friends and family who may also be interested in these concepts. Together, we can create a learning and growth environment. Thank you for dedicating your time to watching this video, and I hope you apply these principles in your daily life to live with more serenity and wisdom. Feel free to suggest future topics in the comments. Until the next video, remember, live in the present, focus on what you can control, and let go of what is beyond your domain.